welcome to DC TechNet, which is your own channel. So do like, share and subscribe. It will not take more than just 2 seconds to click on that subscribe button. So we are super excited to install Active Directory domain services on our Windows Server 2025. So today we are going to install and configure Active Directory domain services on Windows Server 2025. In the layman's language, we can say that we are going to promote Windows Server 2025 to a domain controller. And we have seen what a domain controller is in our earlier sessions. So let's look at the configuration part now, what all the things we are going to see. So the host name on which we are going to configure is Atlanta DC1. The network configuration is all set, means we have assigned a static IP address and the networking part is done. Now the forest and the domain name which we have decided is contoso.net, and rest everything will be default, will not make any changes. So this is the configuration part, and we'll go for some post configuration checklists as well. So first we'll check the FSMO roles, and we'll check the C Windows NTDS folder where our Active Directory database resides. We'll check the schema version of say Windows Server 2025. What is the schema version we are registering? And we'll also look at the forest and the domain functional levels available in Windows Server 2025. So let's log on to our Windows Server 2025 and promote it to a domain controller. So we have logged on to our Windows Server 2025. Let me open up Server Manager, and here we can see that the name of this server is Atlanta DC and it's showing in workgroup, and we have set the static IP address 10.108.100.10. So everything is set now. So let us go ahead and install Active Directory domain services role, and the second part would be to configure it. So let me click on add and remove roles, click on next. So it will be role based or feature based installation. Next, this is our Atlanta DC. We'll click on next over here, and we'll select Active Directory domain services role, and these are the features which are required. So definitely we'll add these features. We'll simply click on next over here, and we'll click on next, and simply click on next over here and click on install. So there are two parts: installing a particular role and configuring a role. This is applicable to all the roles, not just Active Directory domain services role. This is applicable to any role that you are going to install on any Windows server. For example, let's say you want to configure a DHCP. So first you will install DHCP as a role, and the second part would be to configure DHCP as per our requirement. So what I'll do is I'll just pause the video over here, and I'll come back after this installation is done. I think it's running pretty fast, so I don't need to pause this video. Let's see, I'll not pause this video now. Let it complete. And in the meantime, if you have, we are still exploring Windows Server 2025. There are a lot of new things which are coming up, and we are still in the process of understanding how the things work at the back end. And as soon as we find, okay, we are capable of, say, sharing the information, we'll come up with the videos on Windows Server 2025. So just please give us some time to explore this Windows Server 2025. Okay, the installation went successful. Now our second step would be to promote this server to a domain controller. So we have a link over here which says promote a server to a domain controller, but we'll not use this link. We'll just close it, and we have a notification flag over here. So we'll click on the flag, and we have a notification post deployment configuration, and that is promoting this server to a domain controller. So we'll simply click on promote this server to a domain controller. Now let's click on add new forest. Let me add just new forest over here, and that would be contoso.net. Okay, I'm just adding contoso.net over here, and I'm clicking on next. So we are creating a new forest. We are not, say, adding this domain to any forest. Now over here we can see we have forest function level and domain function level. So in Windows Server 2025 Active Directory, there are only two functional levels, 2016 and 2025. So we'll just select 2016 as a forest function level and 2016 as well for the domain functional level. So we have covered forest and domain function level in our Active Directory beginner's guide. So let me type in the directory services restore mode password. So we have covered all these things in our Active Directory, say, beginner's guide playlist. Next, so it's asking us to give the delegation, so we don't have any DNS, so we can just ignore the warning. Next, it will look at the NetBIOS name, so we'll just leave it as default Contoso. Next, and this is where the Active Directory database will reside. These are the log files, and this is the sysvol folder. So we have covered all these things in our earlier Active Directory sessions. And this is the outcome or the review of what are all the things we have selected. Now we'll click on next. So it will, the operating system will check for the prerequisite, means if is this computer, say, okay for installing Active Directory, and it says all prerequisite check passed successfully. So click on install to, say, click install to begin installation. So we'll go ahead and click on install. So it's starting the installation now. It might take long time. We might need to pause this video again. Let's see over here. So first it will install DNS, and then it will start installing Active Directory. So we'll just wait for some time, and if we feel that it's taking, say, somewhat longer, we'll go ahead and pause this video and we'll come back after it will restart the server. It will not wait for us. So after the installation is complete, it will simply restart the server. So we are done with the installation. So what I'll do is I'll just pause this video. It's nothing to say display or let you know that something has happened. Everything is happening at the back now. So I'll just pause the video, let the installation complete, let the server get say restarted, and we will log on to our domain contoso.net. Now after installation of the Active Directory was successful, the server rebooted. Let us log on to Contoso now. So it says Contoso Administrator. So here we go. So let the desktop come in. So this is our desktop, and we have successfully installed Active Directory on our Windows Server 2025. So let us look at our 4 things. First, we'll look at the schema version of Windows Server 2025 Active Directory. So let us open up registry. So I'll just open up run, type in reg edit, open up the registry editor. Sorry, we'll navigate to H key, local machine, system, current control set. We have services. Under services we have NTDS, over here under NTDS we have parameters, and under parameters we have schema version over here, and we can see that the schema version, current schema version is 91. So for Windows Server 2022, the schema version was 88. Now the schema version for Windows Server 2025 is 91. So if I just double click over here, we can clearly see that it is 91. Now let us look at the functional levels. Let me open up Server Manager again, Tools, Active Directory, Users and Computers. Right click on our domain name and we'll just click on Raise Domain Functional Level. So currently we are on Windows Server 2016, but we don't have any other choice now. We can just raise to 2025. So as we know, there are only 2 functional levels for Windows Server 2025, that is Windows Server 2016 and Windows Server 2025. Now let us open up the C Windows NTDS folder and look at the contents over there. The C Windows NTDS, our Active Directory database, resides in this particular folder, C Windows NTDS. And if we see over here, this is our core Active Directory database file, ntds.dit, new technology directory services dot directory information tree. That's the full form. So everything is, say, perfectly balanced and perfectly set. So if you have any questions, if you want to know more about say Active Directory, we already have a playlist and you can watch the playlist. And as you know that we are still exploring Windows Server 2025. Microsoft may come up with something new as well, and as soon as we say find something new, we will come up with the video. So thank you for joining today's session. Today we saw how to install Active Directory on Windows Server 2025. And if you feel this channel is helping you to learn anything new, do like, share and subscribe this channel with your friends and your technical community. And have a great day.